going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Welcome to the video, guys. Just kind of had a revelation. I'm going to ditch this chair. I need a standing desk. Any of you guys use a standing desk out there? Man, I'm an animated person by nature, and I feel kind of trapped. No idea why I started the video this way, but how you guys doing? Welcome to the video. It's going to be kind of a long one, unedited. I'm just going to, read the Q&A here. That's right, Supercell did a little, actually a big Q&A. A lot of questions asked on Reddit. I have not even read all the responses because I want to react with you guys in this video kind of authentically in the moment. Before that, this is good. This kind of communication is great. Now, granted, I interviewed Supercell just a month or two ago here on the channel. I asked him a few questions. I feel like I could have done a better job, honestly. I walked away feeling like they were gracious with their time. Nothing against Rick and Max, of course. But I felt like I just wanted a little bit more, and that's on me as the interviewer. But this is going to be the exception to the rule. So my main here, what I'm looking for is not just their little answers or their big answers to all these questions, but rather is where is this game heading, right? It came out in 2016. It's 2022 now. We're 6 years old in Clash Royale. Is it going to be like Clash of Clans? Is it going to be going strong after 10? After 15, heck, even after 20 years in the distant future? Will Clash Royale still be a thing, or will it fizzle out over time? Now, before I read any of these answers, before I even know what direction they're taking this game, I do have a couple, theories or hypotheses in terms of where I think the game is going. First off, I feel genuinely that Clash Royale is the best mobile game ever created. And I say that with all due respect to Clash of Clans, PUBG Mobile, COD Mobile. There's a lot of great games out there, Kim Kardashian's something emulator, whatever the hell it is. So, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of good games out there. But I really think that Clash Royale, it broke the mold in being a game that's actually way better played on a mobile device. Whereas a lot of other games, you could say, yeah, they're great games, but I could play that on a computer, or I could play that on a console, But Clash Royale is made for mobile, and it's short, and I don't care who you are. If you're watching right now, I imagine you're like me. Even if you're not really into the zeitgeist of the game and following the community and following balance changes and all that baloney, it's still a game that just calls you back, doesn't it, guys? You ever been there like in bed at night and be like, what am I doing? Why am I playing Clash Royale at 1 a.m., man? Or, on the toilet, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Clash Royale is perfectly made. Forget about updates, forget about where they're going to take the game. Is there a lot of stuff that needs to change or that we want to see change? Of course. But fundamentally, I really think Clash Royale is just going to be here for a long, long, long time, Anyway, let's get to the Q&A, Ash. Jeez, talk about a 3-minute preamble. Good God. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I love you. All right. Reddit Q&A, here we go. This happened yesterday, by the way. I'm going to upload it as soon as I'm done recording, so almost real time here on Wednesday afternoon. All right, 2v2 ladder. Will there be a 2v2 ladder? They say, actually, let me make myself a little bit smaller here. Here we go. That's better. That's better. We answered this question in our Q&A video, idiot. I added that, my bad. A 2v2 ladder is not in our scope. We want to focus on other areas of the game for now. We know there are a number of players who really enjoy 2v2. Would like to see more, but we're not going to do, long story short, they're not going to do 2v2 ladder. 2v2 ladder for me is always one of those weird things that, like, how would it exactly work? Would you be tied to one person for a month? Tied to them for just one battle? Could you get carried all the way to the top of the leaderboard? Is 2v2 ladder only dictated by how good is your friend, or how bad is your friend? Is it all random? I don't know, but there's a lot of kind of variables there that I don't know personally. Maybe you guys have some ideas. I don't even know what would make the most sense, but I guess it's a moot point because it's not coming. Clan Wars. What is the plan in improving Clan Wars? What about Clan Wars 3? Clan Wars 3. Is there any plans to make battles more worth playing? All right. Demaroche is shots fired. Any plans to make it worth playing, bro? The work for Clan Wars is not over. A few good ideas that they brought to their attention to name a few weekly wars instead of monthly. How do you guys feel about that? Opt-in, opt-out option, better leaderboard for ranking system. These are all discussions right now, which is code word for saying they're not in development. To be completely transparent, Clan Wars are not in our roadmap for at least the next 2 updates. Now, I'm probably going to get a little hate for a lot of things I say in this video because I'm going to be totally unfiltered, just my opinion, just a video game at the end of the day, right? But I'm glad, man. I'm glad. I'm done with Clan Wars, you know. And I don't hate Clan Wars. I want something a little bit different than Clan Wars 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 on my next update. Just as me, okay? Progression and economy. There are many deck creation possibilities in Clash Royale, but players stick to one deck. Are you going to do anything to fix the problem of overlevel cards on mid-ladder? Can you implement some system? They go, very difficult to develop ways to make players change their deck more frequently. We want to do this, but it's a heavily deep-rooted challenge. Players need to know how to use more cards, how to counter their placements, have them upgraded for the latter part of the game, and people need to be willing to try new decks. We've added wild cards, gold drops, balance changes to encourage players to level up cards and try them out. The honest situation is the majority of players stay with the same decks even after these changes. It's kind of interesting to me. We'll continue to look into ways to encourage players to try, but you know, they need more time. So I want to ask you guys, do you use the same deck? Do you switch up your decks? How do you handle it? Because that's surprising to me that the majority of players just play the same deck, but also we kind of find our comfort zone, right? Like, the odds are you watching right now, you might say, nah, I switch up my deck, Ash. I switch it up all the time. But odds are you probably default back to the same at least archetype or win condition, right? And that's just human nature, right? You like to play a certain type of way. Kind of like Magic the Gathering, you know? Back in my day, back when I was growing up, you know, I liked playing, you know, whatever, control, like blue, control, and cycle. That doesn't mean that there weren't a lot of other interesting and viable strategies. I just, you know, gravitated towards one. I think the same might be the case for decks. However, with that said, I think one cool thing to do was if they have the card boost. I don't know if they do this, but I think giving a deck boost, not for a whole month, but a deck boost for maybe a couple days or the weekends every week. That would certainly, like, basically a max deck for 1 weekend a month or something like that. Is that too much to ask? Is that a ridiculous idea? Probably. But listen, if you want players to try more decks and try more cards, there's an easy solution, and that is give them limited access to that, just that, right? Anyway, will chess get a buff? Yes, currently our discussions are around reworking the chess and bring them up to date with the game's current economy. We can't exactly say what it is yet. Interesting, more on that in a second. We do more ways for people to get gold. The forever question. Right now, we're reconsidering the overall game's economy. Interesting. Something we pointed out in the comments, that the economy has not been touched since the game's launch. And a lot of things changed since then. We can all agree it's not a great situation when cards don't matter anymore. And everything is centered around gold. Our goal is to get the economy where gold and cards are balanced and allow players to choose and focus on what they need the most. So I totally agree with this one, the questions and the answers. I stopped spending money outside of the Royal Pass a long time ago in Clash Royale, especially since level 14, because I realized I rushed maxing my cards originally in this game, and there was nothing to do. So part of me likes having that grind, but also experiencing that grind, I realized one thing for sure, and it's touched on right here. Man, oh man, oh man. There's a big gold shortage still. There's not enough gold. We get cards now, magic items, all that stuff. But I do think that gold, there needs to be a little bit more of it in the game, a little bit more accessible. It takes forever to level up a card, let alone to level 14, even to, you know, tournament level standard when you're starting out brand new players. There's actually millions of new players still downloading this game, guys. Anyway, I say all that to say I'm excited to see what they come up with in terms of revamping the entire game economy. What could that mean? Could they get rid of gold? It doesn't sound like they're going to get rid of gold, but gold and cards are balanced to allow players to choose and focus on what they need most. Very interesting. Any ideas there, guys? Champions. We ever added champions like Battle Machine, Barb King, Grand Warden. Everything is possible. Okay. Shield Maiden. Countess. When would we be able to use star points on champions? Definitely something we want to do, but we can't tell when. Any hint of a new card? New champion? This year? Yes, at least one new champion this year will enter the arena. Okay. The year is a long time, so I'm not super excited, but, you know, cool. Will there be a champion wild card or trade token? We want to release magic items for champions at some point. Yes. Okay, that's good news. Do you guys think You would add custom skins to champions like Clash of Clans. They go on a pretty long answer explaining that in Clash Royale, everything is 2D. It becomes much more difficult for their designers to add 3D skins or add skins onto 2D images. I really don't have any comment there. I'll take them at their word. I'm not a designer and I have no idea. So it would be cool to see different skins though on not just champions, but even legendary card, any card for that matter, other than just the star points. But anyway, clans. Hey, are you going to add a clan treasury soon? Clan treasury at the end of Clan Wars. The winner receives X Clan Gold, for which the head co-leaders of the clan are ready to buy various bonuses in the clan store. Honestly, no. Okay, there we go. We do want to improve clans and the social aspect of the game in the future and make it more rewarding to stay and be in a clan. I really like what Clash of Clans did probably 5-6 years ago with the clan level system and the perks and the bonuses. So I think there's a way to kind of thread the needle here, not necessarily add exactly what this what GAD G001 was asking for, but still make clans, to Clash Royale, to the responder's point, kind of a better experience, clan socially. Balance. Are you going to fix or rework the rage spell? Yes. We have some plans to rework it, but nothing concrete yet. Maybe a rage spirit, add some impact damage, and what scale, and that would scale instead of the duration. Huh. Well, rage is a weird spell. Like it's unlike any other card when you level it up. It's different, tournament level standard, the duration of the rage, right? So it does make sense to rework it. Rage is kind of an annoying card because rage, to me, its main function, its main purpose is to make the most OP pushes even more powerful. You don't see Rage with Hog Rider, I mean, maybe at 3,000 trophies, but you generally see Rage with Sparky Goblin Giant, Elixir Golem Battle Healer, these mammoth pushes that just make you feel kind of helpless. I'm not sure about a Rage Spirit, but I don't know. They're making everything else into a spirit. Why not, right? How do you guys feel about that? Have you considered removing cards such as Goblin Gang, Three Musketeers, and replacing them with unique units that fill the exact same role? Kind of like Rascals instead of Knights, a Knight and Archers have, Three Musketeers be different, right? Same idea. Yes, we thought about it a few times. Interesting. Generally speaking, reusing the same character is good in terms of understandability for players. So they need to memorize 100 plus unique cards and their stats. I don't know. I don't look at it that way, but maybe I'm just more of a seasoned player that I don't look at it as, oh, another card I have to memorize, But on the other side of the coin, does make balancing trickier. Reworking the character is always the last resort if anything else hasn't helped. Long story short, we keep the idea in mind, have thought about it, but we want to try other things first before doing anything as drastic as replacing the card with another one. I agree with that overall philosophy. I think that you can it sounds good in the moment, but you can get pretty crazy just replacing cards all over the place. That's really confusing, just replacing a card. Three Musketeers changing to, whatever the heck they'd call them. I can't even think of what they would call Three Musketeers. That feels like such synonymous with that card, and that's why it can get a little confusing. So I agree with this philosophy, but I do think that when they add new cards, as they have been doing, they ought to be new cards. Not repurposing, not, super Skarmy with 1,000 skeletons, because it then becomes more difficult to balance everything that includes skeletons. Anyway, community split on Mega Knight. Any ideas which way you may go? Interesting. MK is one of those cards that just feels so good to play. Clear to see the value of it, and it works it works as a goal for mid-level players to chase, upgrade, and use. Same for the Wizard, actually. But once you go to high ladder, it's actually not that popular because many players realize it can be countered with much cheaper cards, like Knight and Mini P.E.K.K.A. It can be kited by cards or totally destroyed by a P.E.K.K.A. deck. In other words, there are actually plenty of ways to counter it. However, high ladder and mid ladder are different games and metas, which makes it challenging to balance some cards, such as Wizard and MK. It might be touching some balance changes this year, but want to be careful since a pooper, some might say that, a super popular legendary card in the game. Interesting. So, are they kind of saying that mid-ladder players are dumb here? I kid, but it does kind of sound like, well, people don't realize in mid-ladder that P.E.K.K.A. counters Mega Knight. I don't know how I feel. I maybe, listen, I'm sure they didn't intend it to be this way. I imagine it's Rick or Max responding. But to me, it's like, I think that people get it, that Mini P.E.K.K.A. counters Mega Knight. I think that it can just be a little bit more pervasive. And obviously there is a higher skill cap when you get to high ladder. So certainly I agree with that inherently, but I don't know. It's a weird, I'm on the fence on this one, guys. You tell me, is Mega Knight and Wizard a problem? Is it the fact that a lot of pro players don't play Mega Knight and Wizard testament to the fact, to Supercell's credit in this response, that people on mid ladder just don't know what they're doing? Is it perhaps that Wizard and Mega Knight, when you focus on leveling those particular cards, they're way stronger when you're not just going against max cards? Certainly, there are a lot of good Mega Knight decks on top ladder and in grand challenges. One of the best decks in the game. Ram Rider, Mega Knight, Archer Queen is all over top ladder, and it's all over challenges. So I don't know how I feel about it. People do complain a lot about Mega Knight, but they complain a lot about a lot of cards, you know? So I don't know. You guys can let me know how you feel about Wizard and Mega Knight, but I don't know if they should just go out of their way just because they're hated cards to like nerf them into the ground either, even though that might be satisfying, you know, in the short term. Because what's going to happen is other cards, you know, like Royal Hogs or whatever, are going to get out of control too because you don't have that splash answer. So I feel like it might be cyclical and, you know, the grass might not always be greener on the other side of the fence. Anyway, matchmaking. Any intentions to incorporate a better matchmaking system or improving the current one? We know matchmaking has been the bone of contention for a pretty long time. Yes, we'll continue to improve it. And ultimately, we want to rework it. We can't say much. Some ideas, blah, blah, blah. For me, I think that, listen, whether they intend to rework or change ladder in any way, my opinion is just tell us, right? Transparency, you know, is it, I remember way back in the day, they spoke about this. I'm talking 2016, 2017. I felt like maybe there was a little bit more transparency. And I want to be unfair because maybe maybe I missed it and they have come out and said this. Very well may be the case. But I want to know, like, if, for example, in challenges or even on ladder or in Clash of Clans, for example, after searching in matchmaking for a certain amount of time, the parameters are going to expand a little bit. So first, they want to match you against somebody who, in a grand challenge, for example, has the exact same wins as you do. But for the first grand challenge match, they're trying to match you with someone who has the same overall win rate in grand challenges or classic challenges that you do. And then after maybe 10 seconds of searching, the parameters expand a little bit because they don't want you sitting there waiting forever. I would love some transparency around what that is, you know? After how many seconds does the parameters expand? How does it work on ladder? We know a little bit about challenges. How does it work on ladder? I think that sometimes information can cure a lot of these conspiracy theories, because if we don't have the information, then it's difficult to make really any strong, you know, assumptions or assertions on how things should change, right, or improve. Improvements, quality of life. You guys add a play again button to friendly and triple draft of the other game modes. Cool idea. Thank you. Okay. Be able to split wild cards between cards instead of using them all in one? No. I love the draft games. There's a way for a permanent 1v1 draft game available. When we added a bunch of game modes with the June 2021 update, we decided to add triple draft instead of normal draft. Based on community feedback, triple draft was more strategic and fair. But there's also apparently a demand for normal draft, since this comment came back multiple times in the questions. Let's see if we can add to the list. There's two types of people in this world: people who love draft, people who don't love draft. I love draft, so I'm all for it, man. I think draft is really, really, really fun. Triple draft and regular draft, I do think draft is a nice kind of, it's a different way to play the game. It's a different experience, you know? And that's a good way to, you know, change diversity of cards. Maybe if they make the rewards like draft challenges, you know, on top of a classic and a grand challenge, maybe there's always a draft challenge there. If the rewards are good, even better maybe than other challenges, maybe it will incentivize, or maybe you can, you know, thread the needle and make it a 50 gem challenge or a 10 or 20 gem challenge and just make the rewards a bit better. Give us a different experience, a different way to kind of level up our cards, right? Excuse me. Getting too excited here about draft. I wish I could organize or rearrange the order of the emotes in my emote collection. Yes, this is something we want to do. That and more. Okay, cool. Will we ever see a Clan Wars shop where we can buy magic items with the rewards we gain from Clan Wars? This could be one of the improvements to the Clan Wars in the future, aka in 3 or more updates in the future. Okay, cool. Has the team considered bringing back quests? Bring back quests as they were? No. A new quest-like system? Yes, we discussed something like that and we're considering, okay? When they say discussed and considering again, it tells me not coming in the next 2 updates. Would you ever think about adding polls to clan chat? would be cool. Thank you. Interesting. I never thought that it was a need, but, you know, I guess it's a cool way to pull your clan, right? On ideas and strategy and whatever. What are your thoughts about having a banned card on ladder every season? What? Having a banned card globally for an entire season is not great. Here. Come on, man. I love you, Chris, but for everybody? Imagine you spend all of your gold, all of your resources upgrading one card, your giant, the big fella, 5 elixir, and then they're like, yeah, banned. Giant's banned this season. You're like, dude, I quit. Imagine the community outrage. I would be pretty unhappy. Oh, they say the same thing. Okay, cool. But I want to say a pretty cool idea to fix matchmaking would be when you enter in matchmaking, allowing or experimenting with the idea of allowing players to pick one card that they won't match up against. You know, you're running Hog Rider, maybe Tornado, something like that. It could be cool. And maybe you use these as tokens, you know, maybe you have a limited amount of bans, you know, but it's not a global ban. It's a particular for your matchup. That way it kind of lends itself to alleviate the concerns of players who feel like, dude, every matchup is against me. This game is rigged. At least you have a little bit of say in the matter, you know? What do you guys think? Can we have infinite elixir as a permanent game mode? There's no plans to make it permanent. Okay. Can do it in friendly battles. So, can you guys put a level 11 cap on the 1v1 practice mode to make it easier to practice decks? Something we discussed no later than this week. There are 2 options. Keep the 1v1 showdown as a party mode where you can earn gold in chests, but with your cards at collection levels. This can provide some release for ladder and a place to play without stress of losing trophies. Do you guys really, I mean, I'm assuming the answer is yes, but do you guys really feel stressed, man, about losing trophies? Maybe I just suck so bad that I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to lose some, I'm going to win some. But it never feels good to lose, to their point. Make it a true practice mode where you can practice all cards at level 11, but without getting rewards. Right now, the 2 options are being discussed among the team. There are pros and cons to both, and we will probably revisit the mode in the future. What would you guys go with? Can I have my cake and eat it too? Can we do both? That would be my answer. How often do you accept community suggestions? We discuss them all and try to add them when we can. July 2021 update was full of community requests and suggestions, gold crates, rewind functionality, more deck slots. This is true. When it comes to adding community suggestions to the game, we're always trying to ask ourselves these questions. What are players motivated behind their requests? What do they want to achieve? Number 2, is the implementation obvious, and or are there any considerations to make compatible, future-proof with other features? Okay. Is a specific thing that's being requested the best way to achieve the goal, or we can confidently meet the need with something that fits and adds more value? I think this is a pretty cool insight here, honestly. And I think it's 3 very fair points that the team looks at when considering a community request. Oftentimes, community members raising my own hand here, because I'm always throwing requests out there. I want challenge token tickets. I want more frequent balance changes. Oftentimes, we can come from a very myopic viewpoint towards the game, towards the direction of the game, towards our own experience, but not factoring in the other millions of players and also the foundation of the game, and also where they already intend to take the game in the next 1, 2, 3 updates, you know? So I think this is a good kind of sober reminder of what goes through the developers' heads when we request stuff. Will you ever revisit the concept of April Fool's stuff? No, will absolutely never happen again. And if it didn't, it wouldn't be this year. Nope, impossible. No. Everything will be normal, totally normal. So we're getting an April Fool's joke. I have to say, anybody remember way back in the day, they had the tombstones that spawned giant skeletons. They had the mortar that shot out goblin barrels. You can Google that. I had a video on that. It's probably 5 or 6 years old, but you can check it out. It was pretty fun. Are legendary buildings coming soon? Okay. So we know this is a pretty strong request, but no, there's no legendary building coming soon. Get it through your thick skull. I mean, we're not especially against the idea. Why not, right? It just hasn't come up yet. Fun fact, the Goblin Joe was supposed to be legendary at first, but because the card was released before was also a legendary, the Mother Witch, we decided to make it an epic card. I guess that's all it takes to decide the rarity of a card, just being like, yeah, well, the Mother Witch was legendary, so let's downgrade it to epic. Was there a chance of a 3v3 mode? If there are none, What are some of the reasons why not? We tested a while ago, but it was too chaotic, not great in terms of visibility and burning phones. I got you. I'm a little slow today. I'm like, burning phones. I was thinking like burner phones. Like, yeah, dude, I got this 3v3 account, but I'm gonna need the burner device. I'm an idiot. Honestly, there's something we don't want. Excuse me. This is not something we want to try. So 3v3 not on the agenda. 3v3 to me could be like touchdown, right? It could be really cool, or it could be like, yeah, this is not how the game was intended to play at all. It makes no sense. Who knows? But you don't know unless you try, right? Could you make a season pass purchasable by gems? No. Are you happy with this current state of the game? Yes. Like we said before, 2021 was a great year for Clash Royale, and we're happy now where we are, but we still have a lot of ideas to make it even better. As I kind of alluded to or touched on at the beginning of the game, it's funny, I mentioned on the interview that the game is going very, very well in terms of a lot of downloads, a lot of revenue, you know, in terms of Supercell's mind, and a lot of players. It has dipped a little bit in the last 2 months since that interview, but I got a few tweets saying like, Ash, are you full of BS, man? Because my clanmates are quitting or whatever, you know? And, you know, the fact of the matter is, no, I'm not. You can go see these stats. You can just probably Google, you know, Sensor Tower has a subscription that you need, but that's what I use. And you can see the download numbers. You can see the revenue, and the facts are the facts, right? So a lot of people were downloading in 2021, had a little bit of a resurgence, the game, right? As I said, it dipped a little bit, but the best it's been in a couple years, you know? Who really is P.E.K.K.A? She's a fierce warrior, and that's all we know. I forgot what P.E.K.K.A stands for. Something about... Oh, I forgot. But it's a female. We know that. She has a name, right? You know what, guys? Screw it. It is a perfectly enraged night killer in Assassins. In Assassins? Not of Assassins? In Assassins? Okay, well, there we go. Could Super Troop challenges become a seasonal type of minigame? Yes. Not as often as seasonal, but the Super Lava Haln was the first test of these kinds of new challenges, and we're pretty happy with the results. I think it was pretty cool. We'll be adding custom starting hands. Interesting. This might happen in a special game mode. As you can probably already guess, choose the option of 1v1 friendly battles, but it's not something we want to implement in the game for all battles. We think a pretty big part of the game is the adaptability. When you don't have the exactly the card you want in your hand, you have to react and adapt to the opponent's moves. With fixing starting hands, there will be a starting hand meta that would develop, and ultimately the game would become a lot less fun to play and watch. I'm actually unpopular opinion here, but I'm actually in agreement 100% with Supercell. And I know just based on the comments of you guys that, again, it's yet another unpopular opinion here, but I do think that the RNG of starting hands, it can be damning at times. You know, you always remember the starting hand that you got burned on. You never remember the starting hand that you actually had in your favor, but you never really even realize, because who watches their replays? Not many players, and see their opponent's hand that they had a bad starting hand. But I do think there's a lot of strategy involved. You see it, and like that's one of the most fun things for me on pro players is seeing the adaptability that they've cultivated over training, and I think that we all can get that, some semblance of that as well. So I kind of like the variability of starting hands. What are the developers actually working on? Good question. Sir Alpha Sand just cuts right to the point. What the hell are you guys doing? On the next update, more seriously, our major focus this year has been reworking code to get us in better shape for the rest of the year. That's a non-answer, huh? To be open and honest, we see this next update as a minor update in terms of the content for players. I like the open transparency there. I don't want to get my hopes up. We have done a lot of work on the back end, so this update might feel a little lighter than our previous ones. However, this is preparing us for better things to come in the future update. So that's important. I probably should have answered that one at the beginning of the video, not the end of the video. But I do think it's nice to have realistic expectations. So I appreciate the transparency, even though it's probably not what a lot of us want to hear. We want big, big, big new updates, fun stuff, stale, exciting, you know? You know, hopefully they'll fix some of the little bugs that have been kind of lingering with that back-end code work as well. Like, it's probably been 2.5 years, 3 years maybe, since when you join a clan, nobody can spectate you until they reset all their devices or restart their games. Stupid, minor. I don't mean stupid as in like, it's a stupid they haven't addressed it. It's such a minor little thing that almost affects nobody. But I know there's a lot of little things like that. So maybe fixing those on top of the bigger glitches right now inside the game would be nice. I'm curious to see what they do in terms of the economy rebalancing and stuff like that. Will that be touched on in this lighter update as well? Time will tell. So you guys deciding on a graphical design for characters? When are you guys deciding on a graphical design for characters? I imagine you have more than one and end up choosing one. Is it true? Can you release the images of some of the best ones? Okay, cool. So how do they decide on the final image? Yes, we actually share some of our concepts, the first designs on our social channels. Hey, let's read the last question. Let's take a look at these designs, right? Everything you didn't know is on the Clash Royale esports websites on how to join CRL. How do you come up with new ideas for cards, challenges, game modes, and other updates? Everyone on the team can share his own idea, and we discuss it. If it has potential, we can work on it as a team. That's how all the Supercell teams work, really. Everybody has a say, whether you're an artist, or whether you're a coder, whether you're the team lead, everybody kind of brings their ideas to the table. They discuss them. Everybody has a voice on their teams. They work in small teams, usually of, starting out maybe only half a dozen people, and then it scales up to maybe 12 to 15 people on a specific game team. And that's, you can't argue with that process. I think over the years, even myself included, especially think about back to my Clash of Clans days, right? You're kind of like, just hire more people and give us more content. But you also cannot argue with kind of the Supercell philosophy and the Supercell way, because it's yielded the best results in all of mobile gaming over the last decade plus. So, it's a balance, I guess. But anyway, guys, let's take a look at these images here. The Barbarian Launcher. Barbarian Launcher. Okay. I'm glad we don't have that in the game. We have the Magic Archer. He was like a wizard initially, it looks like. Okay, so Magic Archer was a wizard, and he kind of changed into, Magic Archer. All right, and then we have the Flying Machine. The Flying Machine was originally a flying dart goblin face on a barrel. Well, I'm glad they went with the actual cards that we have now. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed this review of the Q&A. Tried to give you my honest opinion on every single thing. Overall, I kind of want to end the video on a positive note. As we started the video, I might not be at my all-time high in terms of my interest level in Clash Royale, but I'm pretty confident at this point saying that I'm so fortunate to be able to cover this game on a daily basis for a living here on the channel, and I'm super fortunate to have you guys kind of join me along in the ride. Whether you just started watching in today's video or whether you've been with me here on the channel for 8 years, it's pretty crazy, right? It's in a way, you're part of my life and I'm part of your life. And it's just something it's surreal in many ways, given that I grew up without even the internet existing, let alone mobile devices, let alone mobile games. And I just wanted to show a little bit of gratitude towards you for, sticking with me and sticking with the game. And cool, kind of end with a shout out to the developers for answering all the community questions. I love this kind of stuff. I love talking about it, sharing my opinion. I will stop this long rambly video right now. Big shout out to Stutts and Bren Chong, my YouTube partners. Thank you for watching all the way till the end, and as always, take care, guys.